So hello guys, new lecture. So in today's lecture we are going to discuss a very important topic which is known as multi-threading. So basically internally Python is handling our programs using multi-threading, but we are going to see this in our today's class, that how can we see that how Python handles multi-threading in our Python program. So basically multi-threading is a concept which is used in our mainly browser applications. Like in browser we open one main application, and then we have multiple tabs, and these tabs are known as threads. Like these threads are independent to each other. Like if we cancel the one thread, like if we close one tab, then it will not automatically close all the tabs. It will just close the thread for that tab only, and other would remain working as they were working uh, before. So basically there are multiple cores, like we have core to do, octa core, dual core. So basically these cores are just the number of processors which are going to each processor which handle multiple programs. So how can we see this in Python in a real life program? So I'm going to just show you a demo. Like we have to import threading. Now we have imported threading, and let me take a function here. So our function name is learn, and then I'm going to take some number inside. So I'm taking number as an input, and then what we want to do, we want to print something like start program percentile d, and then percentile number. So now if we run it, our program executes successfully. And now if we call our function learn, and then we pass a number inside it, so we can see that our number is getting printed here. So what if we want to run this program according to the number which we want to pass? Like how can we run this program using multi-threading? So we have called threading dot, and then there is a built-in function inside it, thread. So we have to call, this is a threading is a super class, and this is the function inside this threading class. So I'm going to call this, and then what we have to do, in this we have to pass the target and other, like targets, and then uh, the fields which we want it to act on. Like we have to pass our function name, and then our target, like the numbers and how many times we want this thread to run. So I am going to pass the target. So we are going to take target here, and our target is our function, so we are going to take this function here. So learn is our target function. Then what we have to pass, we have to pass the arguments. So basically arguments we are going to pass I, because we are going to run this program for I range, for I in range, and then we pass here number. We are going to pass number as 10. Then we have to convert this whole into a list, and then we have to save this in a variable. So I'm going to take a variable name as thread. You can take any name, it is not necessary that. Now let us just run this, and we can see that our, now we had set our target as this function, like it will start for this function. And then what we are going to do, we are passing the arguments I, like for I in range, and then we have to run this program. So we have to use for loop for, like we are going to take thread. So I'm going to take t in thread, and then p dot t dot start. So t dot start. So basically here we are starting our threading system. So now if we run it, we can see that our program executed according to the number of range which we had in our I. Like for I, the last index is excluded, like it starts from 0 and goes till 9. So we can see that our thread started for each program, it executed, and then it started the number of the range which we passed, and then it printed the total number of program it executed for one go. So if we call our thread here, so I'm going to take call thread here. So now we can see that this thread will give that how many number of times it ran for this function. So the thread ID is different but our function remains the same. Like for this same function, different thread IDs ran. So let us see another example. So I'm going to import time, and then let me create a function here. So I'm going to create a function learn one, and I'm going to pass number inside it. And then what do we want to do? We want to take a range inside it. For I in range, we are going to take a range of 10 numbers, like till 10. And then what we want to do, we want to print. So printing, then percentage d time, and then percentage d and percentile. Here we have to pass the variables. So which variable we want? First we have to pass the number, and then id, sorry, I, because we are iterating it for I. And let us just execute it. So it executes successfully, and let me just call this function. Sorry, we have to use our time here. So time dot sleep. So basically we want our program to sleep for 1 second for each iteration. So let me just execute it again, and let me take learn one, and then I'm going to run this program. So we have to pass our argument here. So I'm going to, let me just pass 10 here, and let me just run it. So it is going to print each loop for every time, like after every 1 second it would print the number for us. So we had seen that we are running this program for each second, it would print the number of time it executed. Like for time was 0, 1, 2, 0 time, 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, then how many time it ran. So what if we want this program to run for multiple ranges? Like now it is only running for one number, like we are just passing 10 and it is multiple times printing 10 for us. But what if we want this function to print the range, like the range which we pass, then that number of times it should print the values for us. So how can we do that? We have to call threading, and then threading, and there is built-in method of thread. And then here what we have to pass, we have to pass the target. So in target we have to pass our function name. So our function name is learn one, and then we have to pass the arguments. So arguments we are going to pass I, because for I range we are going to give the range. And then for I in range of, let me just take 4 here, and now let me just convert this into a list, and then I'm going to save this as thread 1 is equal to, and let me just execute it. And now if we run it, so for I in for, and then for t in thread 1, then what we want to, t dot start, so that we want our program to start. And then let us just run it. So we can see that our output is this time different, like it should start from 0, and then it should go till 9, and then print 0 it all the numbers. Like for first time it should print 0 till 9, and then it should start from 1, and then 2, and then 3. So why basically it is not printing in a sequence in like this range, like from 0 to 9 it should firstly print. For here it should continue printing 0, and then here it should print till 9. So basically what is happening here, that we are using here sleep time. So this sleep time, what it will do, it will make the direction to the PC, like it will when it is executing, it will ask the program that it is sleeping for 1 second, for 1 millisecond. So it would ask the other program to continue executing for the next iteration. Like for this when it enters, for like here we can see that here we are passing 10, like we just pass the number, so it should print 0 and then 0. So here it is the same as 0, but in the next time the value of I should remain same like this number, but here it is getting changed because there is a sleep time. So when our program is in a sleep mode, then it would ask the thread to continue execution for the next program, and then this same iteration continues, and then our program continues till the end. So here we can see that we had continued the iteration, and then we had reached till 9 times, like our range is reached now 9. Our program is executed fully, but there are multiple threads which ran for the same program for the range which we had passed, like for the range 4, like 0 1 2 3, and then 4 is skipped, so our range is from 0 1 to 3 and our number becomes 4. So here we had seen just a basic example of how can we use multi-threading in our program. So internally we don't have to worry about this because Python is automatically handling this multi-threading process, but we had just to see that how internally Python handles this. So that we had seen in our this basic lecture of multi-threading. So that's it for today. See you next lecture. Practice and see you next lecture. Bye.